Hi. So I've not done a 2000 AD review in a while, and this I thought would be a perfect opportunity to do one because this, as it says at the top here, all new stories starts inside. So that each story is a brand new one, so it's a perfect jumping on point if you've been umming and ahhing about starting 2000 AD. But it's always been like there's been two new stories, but then there's been like three ongoings, halfway through the storylines. Whereas with this, complete fresh start, and obviously front and centre is Road Trooper because he's got the up and coming film coming out. I think either later this year or early next year. And of course, you've got to have the big man Judge Dredd on the cover as well. So yeah, so it's a bit of a chunkier one. There's 48 pages in here. So let's have a look. I've read it, so I'll give them a review of each story as well. Now, I will start initially. They were meant to be having a Judge Dredd story by Ben Wheatley, the director who's done loads of really cool British horror films, like sci-fi, just really cool weird films. And he directs a few episodes of Doctor Who as well and things like that. He was meant to he was meant to write a story with McMahon doing the artwork. A longer way to return for McMahon, but for some reason that's fallen through in the scheduling, so they're not doing it for this issue. But hopefully that will be coming out in the coming months. We'll just have to wait and see. So that's a little bit of a disappointment because McMahon is one of the best artists, full stop, in comics. But they're ably compensated by the replacement team of Rob Williams, who's done some of the best Judge Dredd stories of recent years, and with amazing, fantastic art by Henry Flint, who I think is one of the unsung heroes of 2000 AD and comics in general. He's never really made a huge impact in the States. He did a Judge Dredd and Aliens crossover comic, and must be 15, 20 years ago now, with Dark Horse, which was amazing and fantastic. If you can find it, do pick it up. But I think he's one of the best comic creators going around at the moment. And so this is a really good scene setter for this new storyline. I love this use of panel layouts. Obviously, with 2000 AD, the pages are bigger. But even still, you've got 15 panels on this page. It just sets the scenes gradually. And then it opens up to a shock impact of this panel here. And then it's just he can do fate, he can do people, he can do technology, he can do water scenes like this. His color palette is fantastic as well. He he does one of the best Judge Dredd faces since, like I said, McMahon and Cam Kennedy, etc. And so there's this mystery that's happening where there's something going on with this sea-based prison colony, and there's also this like parallel mystery that's going on here. Where I love how he draws Judge Anderson as well. Where there's this mystery what she's investigating, and they're going to get linked together. And just look at this. This is like something from like a 1970s psychodrama. You know the um, oh, I'm tired. It's been a long day today. Um, those kind of like Italian art house horror films, and just that panel. So this started. I've not really told much about the story because I don't want to. I really do encourage you to pick up this issue. It's $4.99 for 48 pages. It's just look, they do this every like 3 or 4 months when they do a thicker issue. But it sets the scene for a really intriguing premise. This is Judge Dredd leaning into the more horror side of Judge Dredd world. That's what I love about Judge Dredd, is how it can leap from doing something like this to out and out weird comedy, and then to like a futuristic western noir, to like a crime procedural. There's just so many elements that you can have with Judge Dredd. So I would give this story a 9 out of 10. And then moving on, we've got the return of a comic strip, what's not been in for a good number of years, Brass Sun. what I like about this, they give a synopsis of what's gone before, so if you've never read it, this catches you up to speed. But I have got this gorgeous collection of the first run of Brass Sun, which is by Ian Edgerton and Ian J. Colbard. Ian J. Colbard, I think, is one of the best artists at like this issue of 2000 AD has just got stellar artwork all the way through. It really has got fantastic artwork. It it blows a lot of the American comics out of the water with this issue. It really does. But Ian J. Colbard is just amazing. His art line work is so simplistic, like Magnolia, but there's so much going on as well. I do encourage you to hunt for this book, Brass Sun, The Wheel of Worlds. But if you can't find it, don't worry, because it is quite scarce now, and I think it's going for quite a bit now on eBay. I was just looking to get it when I could for a good price, which was a number of years ago now. But I did hear on the 2000 AD podcast that they are looking to bring this back either in a hardback format or a different kind of format so that people can catch up on it. But yeah, so it's a modern day classic. And Ian J. Colbard's artwork has improved even more. So it's a bit of like a reflective opening to the second storyline in this universe. It feels like high fantasy mashed with hard sci-fi. It's the only way I could really describe it. It's a really unusual feel and flavour to it, but the artwork and the dialogue is just really, really good. It's not talking down. It's not. This is not a story for kids. It really is grown-up sci-fi, science fantasy, and the world building is just phenomenal. And I love how one of the characters is Kurt Vonnegut. He's like this godlike being. And again, just the colours, the line work, everything about it, the expressiveness, even in like the alien faces, just so good. He doesn't do people classically good looking. They're realistic looking people. I mean, this guy's just got a tuft of hair there, nothing special to look at, and it makes them much more human. And then you've got the contrast there, the small frames where they just focus together, and then this shows you the sheer scale of where they are. So there's this huge statue, and that's that team just talking here. Again, this another 9 out of 10, really smashing it out of the park here. And then there's a Judge Anderson story by Alex de Campi, art by Rob Richardson. I didn't like Rob Richardson in what I've seen of his recent stuff, but he's done stuff to his artwork now which has really improved it. I think this might be the first time, I'm not sure, but he's doing his own colours, and I really like the energy in his artwork in this one. It's a great Judge Anderson story with Judge Dredd featuring as well. I do like how they play on the friendship between those two. Judge Anderson's really the only other judge who understands Joe Dredd. And this story, it's really, really fun. I'd give it an 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's not as strong as the other two stories, but it's still really good fun, and the art is lovely. The only gripe I've got about it is that it finishes on a cliffhanger and it carries over. It's not a gripe for me because I get this anyway, but it carries over into the Judge Dredd magazine for this month. And so it's the little bit at the back here. So it's fine if you're already collecting the magazine. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend join. I don't know. It's if you're not collecting the magazine, this isn't a good one to jump onto because the rest of the stories, there's a few one shots, but there's some stories that are still going on. But next issue of the magazine is doing a hard relaunch to celebrate 35 years. So that's a great jump on point. So I don't understand why they did that. It just grates a little bit. It's a gimmick I don't like when any company does that, where they try and force your hand to buy something, but especially if a lot of the story is already halfway through. And then one of my favourite series, what they did in recent years, is Thistlebone. And this is unusual. They've done like an illustrated text story. And normally it's Simon Davis, and who does like fully painted pages. But in this one, it's just a short text story, like what you get in an annual, which was okay. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because I want a comic to be a comic, but I understand the novelty behind it. And then this is great. This is like space pirates, but if the space pirates were basically like the Fabulous Fairy Freak Brothers were, they're just going around trying to find the best drugs. And that literally is it. This is the captain of the space pirates. She's amazing. And they're just, like I said, they're just looking to get people happy. As you can see, they're stoned out of their heads. The art by Boo Cook is great. It's written by David Hine, who's a comics veteran. And again, really fun. 7.5 out of 10. And this is coming out soon. Judge Dredd Death special in October for Halloween. Now this I want to talk about a bit. So they've already been exploring the universe of Rogue Trooper. There's done a number of Rogue Trooper stories in the past few years, but this is kind of like doing a fresh take on Rogue Trooper. It's by Alistair Campy, art by um, Neil Edwards, and the art is really, really good. And what I like about it, it kind of throws you in, gives you like through just these illustrations, the history of Rogue Trooper's past, and then it sets the groundwork for a brand new scenario, brand new setup. My only gripe, it's just 6 pages, and I wanted more. I got invested straight away, and yeah, 9 out of 10. And what I'm really, really pleased about, next week's issue, Red Dragon comes back. Red Dragon was a secondary character, secondary superhero from the Zenith stories by Grant Morrison and Steve Yeowell. Grant Morrison's not coming back to do this, but Rob Williams is doing the story. Rob Williams is fantastic, and it works even better because Rob Williams is Welsh and Red Dragon is Welsh, but Steve Yeowell is doing the artwork again. So it's bringing back a character from my favourite universe, which is Zenith, my favourite superhero universe, and I am so made up. So yeah. So as a whole, perfect jumping on point, apart from the Judge Anderson story, I'd say, unless you're guessing this as well. But as a whole, I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Really fun comic. And if you've not read 2000 AD for years and you want to just try it again, this is a good way of dipping your toes back in. If you've never read it because you've just felt overwhelmed by the sheer amounts of history, great way to start. So yeah, 2000 AD. This is Prog 2450. It'll be out for another few days yet, and then there'll be the next one after that. But you can get it online from 2000ad.com. And if you live in the States somewhere, I do recommend trying it digitally. You get some good offers on the digital subscription as well. Okay, so yeah, this is why I love 2000 AD. They can be a bit mid-range for a few weeks, but then you know they're going to pull the bootstraps up and become outstanding like they have done with this. But prior to that, which is this one, it's been stellar for the past 4 months. Like the Judge Dredd story has been amazing, with the artist from Scalped, the Vertigo series, doing Judge Dredd. This was a great, great supernatural gangster story. It's just very gruesome, up there with Hellblazer for the perfect blend of horror and gangsters. And then Scarlet Traces was great. So yeah, very satisfactory. So yeah, 2000 AD is on a roll. I highly recommend hunting it out. My battery's going to run out, so I'm going to say bye. Speak to you soon.